Hello there, I'm Maria from the Richardson Simple Living. Today I'm doing a bit of a day in the life vlog. Disastrous life I think it's going to be. We're back to the decorating. I'm dreading it. It's just everything we did last time just went wrong. If you've seen some of the old vlogs, there was holes in the walls when we took the tiles off. It took weeks and weeks to do the kitchen, and then we thought it was going to be straightforward, just swapping the living room and the dining room around. But we had a right mix up with the carpets, and these companies, separate companies, said that they'd sent them and they didn't arrive, and it turned out these separate companies seemed to be one company trading under two names, which got a bit complicated, and it got a bit heated, but I got my carpets in the end and my flooring. So now we're in the hallway. Oh, I dread it. He's took the landing rail off. Let me go and show you. In the hallway. I mean, look at the state of it. The groovy old carpet's coming up. That came out my mum's house and I just used it in here because it gave like extra warmth in winter. But it's coming up and we're having tiles down there, something washable. All the paint and everything is ready to begin. Poor old cat's still got food down there. I don't know where that's going to move to. His Hoover that I'm tripping over the wire of, because that's like an outdoor vac and it sucks up water and debris and stuff, so he uses that because he's been getting all the paint off, scraping it off. He put the heat gun on it to burn it off, which of course set the fire alarms off, and they couldn't shut them up, so they were going continuously. Nightmare. So he's had to give up with that. So he's decided if he scrapes that off, all the worst of it, and then sands down the good bits, he'll get away with that. But he couldn't do that with the handrail, and he's took the handrail off. Can you see where it went? I'm dreading it. And before he took it off, I was like, you can get it back on, can't you? And yes, of course I can. You can, can't you? I kept going, you will get it on right. And he was going, look at the size of these nails they put through. And I'm going, oh, how are you going to get back on? Don't worry, I'll screw it back on with good sized screws. I said, will it be as sturdy as it was? Of course it will. Well, the amount of times I've heard Dean trying to reassure me about jobs, and they've not gone as he said. I'm not holding out much faith in the matter. So I've got no handrail at the moment. So yeah, is that going to be my disaster? I'm going to forever be without a handrail. So that's the start of it. All the carpets coming up, all the old rubbish stuff. I'm going to paint some of the stairs, and I've got some carpet treads to go on it. I'm going to have a mixture of like white walls and some white on here, but the handrail, providing I can get it back, is going to be grey. The stairs are going to be grey, and then it's got grey treads. This is the idea at the moment, but it could change as I go along. Look at that, the blinds have got to come down. Look what the cats have done. That's we're looking out the window to see what's happening outside, so I'm thinking we'll probably put some roller blind up there. Might be better. They can just roll it up in the day and the cats can look out all they want without causing any damage. So that's what we're hoping to do there. We've got tools here, there and everywhere, and it just makes me anxious, very anxious. We've still got things to move, like the boxes of cat meat, and if this isn't so bad, I can just pull the drawers out and put them somewhere and move the unit. So this is the state of play at the moment. Oh, I'm having to watch where I walk. And of course, back in my dining room, everything's had to come in here, so as tidy as it was, I've got the freezer in here, chest freezer, and over to this side I've got all Sean's riding hats, and there's boxes in the corner that have got to be sorted out for a job lot, and then all the shoes in the racks, I sort them, and these are the carpet tiles, or treads I should say, in there. So that's what we're hoping to put on. So yes, this should do nicely. We've had some more ready for a clean. They got clean on Monday, but they look a bit green again, and I've got a pregnant one there, look. So yeah, they're oblivious to everything. So that's state of play at the moment. I'll show you the colours. Painting it, shut that door. I've got the grey Delaware, and then I've just picked another blue up for the bathroom because I just thought we'll just go over the bathroom, and if that blue's a bit dark we often mix it with some white silk and make it to the colour we want. So yeah, I'm dreading this. I'll keep you updated on it as it goes along. I'll just keep vlogging it and we'll see how it goes. See, all the walls that are magnolia at the moment, they're all going to be plain white because I think it's so much easier just to whitewash everything during winter after Christmas when there's nothing happening outside, we're not in the garden and whatnot. I think it'd be easy just to get a nice couple of big tubs of white vinyl silk and just emulsion it all to keep it fresh every year. So much easier. So yeah, I was thinking, see, about having grey along this bit, so like the handrail, all being well, and this bit going down here, just this one piece, and then white going up, just to break it all up a bit, I think. I don't know, we'll see. So anyway, yes, we'll leave it at that for now, and I'll vlog a bit more as it goes along. Right, it's a glorious afternoon and I've come down to the cemetery, which is to the right of me, because, oh, I want to put some flowers on my parents' grave as they've all dried up. The water has, and they've died of this heat. 12 o'clock. The sky looks beautifully blue. It's really nice down here. It's right out in the countryside. The church me and Dean got married in, this is. And my 3 eldest children were baptised in this church. It's quite nice. We've got, well, Dean's got a lot of ancestors buried here. We've not found all the graves, because we recently found out that his granddad had got an older sister that had died and is buried here somewhere, but it's not marked and we don't know where. And we only found this out by doing the family tree, researching. I think my son discovered it as we were all researching, family on both sides. So yeah, it's lovely. So I'm going to go this side first. This is a cemetery side. It hasn't got nothing to do with the church. The council own this side. And my parents are buried in this side. And then churchyard. Dean's got grandparents in there. I don't know if we'll be going over there today. Might go over and just have a wander through the old graves. It is nice doing that. I like doing that. It's something peaceful about it. So I'm going to go and get my flowers, and I'm going to sort out my mum and dad's grave first of all, so we'll catch you in a moment. And I've done my flowers. Look at them, they look pretty. I'm going to take a walk across the other side now. Check there's nothing coming along the road. You don't get many cars because it's a country lane.
I like this one.
You like this side of the graveyard? It's interesting, I think. We often try and find the oldest graves when we go through graveyards. It's like a memorial bit. The bottom one, that one, he was in the same year at school as me. Such a shame. It's lovely along here. And the old graves. I would love to be able to just go along and put flowers on all these forgotten graves. What year is this one? I don't know. What was the oldest one? Oh dear, I'm treading on it. I don't want to do that. 1809. This person was aged, is it 27 years, I think it says. She was somebody's wife, a Mary. Somebody, can't read it all. So maybe she died in childbirth. It's got other writing on, but I don't know. I think we've seen some from the 1700s in here, because it is a very old church. Another person there, 27 years old. Is that a man or a woman?
Oh, we're looking on this one.
Yeah, but mind you don't tread on the grave. Oh, that's a man. Captain, is it?
John. Can't read the last name because I can't read.
Matchett, I think it says. Departed life on 19th day of June 1820.
After
he was
having
52.
served his king and country 27 years and 2 months with honour, and has now left the consulate.
Disconsolate.
Can't read.
It's hard to read it, that's why.
No, I actually can't read those.
Oh, that old-fashioned words, you mean?
No,
Yeah. So he served his king and country 27 years and 2 months with honour and fidelity. He's now left a disconsolate widow to lament her irreparable loss. Wow. I was up in the air then. I was filming up in the air, I think. So many graves, this will be full of graves. You don't know where you're walking, that's trouble. You try and keep in the line of the stones that are there. Hope you're not walking on anybody. 1884, oh, that's a bit later then. But they sort of died so young because they hadn't got all the medicines and things that we've got today. Like my great-grandmother lost her first child, her son, at 18 months old, and he'd had a fit through teething simply because his temperature had gone too high and it caused him to fit, and he died. And nowadays that is less likely to happen because, well, we simply give them Calpol as starters, and beyond that they have other things they can give them. He's 42 years, 1822. And they're such nice gravestones, they have so much information on them. But if you're family tree hunting, it's great because you can get a lot of information. If you're fortunate enough to have a relative who'd had a stone, I mean, as you see, there's a lot of bare patches in between. They're going to be burials there, but people couldn't afford stones. Sometimes stones just go, sometimes they just bury over people, because I think after 100 years, if they've got no relatives that are tending graves, they will just bury over them. And you see many a churchyard that has got stones lined against the side of the wall, taken from the place where the person was buried. Which is a shame. So which is why I keep going to my great-grandparents. I mean, theirs hasn't hit 100 years yet. I think it's about 70, 71 years. But I keep making sure I put flowers on, because I've only got 2 elderly aunts left. One's 92, one's about 86. And she's partially blind and can't walk very well, so they can't get up that easily. So try and go up, and I've shown my son where it is so he can continue going after me. Try and keep the family's graves there as long as we can. This is a bit different, isn't it? Wandering through a churchyard having a chat, but I do find it so peaceful and so interesting. I wonder about these people, the time periods they lived in, the lives that they had. Who were they? What did they do? Did some have it easy? Did some have it hard? Obviously a lot had it hard. You know, what sort of life did they have? I mean, these with stones, I imagine, were a bit better off, because the normal person would struggle to afford a stone. Some of these are 77 years old. That's 18 something. 1821 over there. Sounds a good strong name, George Bromley. We found some wildflowers. Plenty in the grass. I'm not sure how much everyone can see because obviously the sun's on me. 1821, aged 82. Now that was a good age for those times.
What was a good age?
I like that the stone says, "Farewell, vain world, I've seen enough of thee, and cares not what thou canst say of me, what faults you saw in me, and take care to shun, and look at home, enough there's to be done."
That's old.
The phrases they used to say, the things.
1821.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look down this bottom and look at all these. Only thing is, I've got sandally shoes on, and there's a lot of bugs in the grass. And we've got to be careful because I've been attacked down here a couple of times by various insects. It doesn't look like it's been cut for over a week or two. And that's the Sunday school house. Nice and cool and shaded down there, isn't it, Sean? Nice and cool and shaded. This I find sad. You always know there's going to be a child in there. I mean, not just the fact it's a small grave. It's like a little girl, an angel. Catherine Brown. Oh, it's got somebody else on there. Eileen Mosley. Of a mother. So maybe somebody else is buried in there as well. But I can't see any dates with Kathleen Brown.
What are the ones with the crosses?
The crosses.
Yeah.
Where are you looking? Oh,
The ones with the big
these.
crosses.
It's just people's choice, isn't it? What they have. It's hard to see. I daren't walk across because you've got boots under your shoes. Can you wander without getting bitten and see what it says? It looks like there's a couple of people in there.
Wait. Oh God. Do you really want me to read out his name? Fanny Mary.
Fanny Mary
And,
Hardwick, is it? And Herbert Hardwick. 1923. So to me that's a bit more modern times.
This is 1926.
Yeah, a bit more modern times. Although really now it isn't, is it? Because we're in the 2020s. But we've got an 1807 one here. James Shepherd, 78. So quite a lot of these actually. Me saying a lot died young. There's quite a lot in this graveyard that are actually in the 70s, and getting a couple in their 80s. Then you sort of go back to the young ones again. That's 1881. These are all the same surname, all Shepherds these are. So, and up there. So maybe this is like a family plot. Sean likes going looking at graves. She loves to find the oldest one and the history of them. Oh, is that 1700s, this one? It looks like some of the stones broken.
1776.
Is that what it's? Yeah, 1776.
37.
It's a nice old one. Is it 37 or 57? It might be 50. They're right. Really fancy then, didn't they?
Oh, probably is.
Anne Austen.
76.
Wife, is it something wife, the body of, and I can't read the rest, it's gone. It's hard to read, very hard to read. Some nice ones. Yes, like I say, it's quite educational because you can find out a lot from churchyard, and like the times people lived, you know, who the people were, and you can actually look them up on Ancestry. You can go back and you can research who these people were. I did that concerning a little girl right at the far end at the top. Every time we came down to Dean's grandparents' grave, we follow a path up there because the water things and bins are there. And then I go along there to get out the gate again. And up there is a little girl, 5 years old. And I passed it, and my eye caught it every single time. So on one occasion I went home onto to Ancestry and I found a family, I found parents, found where they lived and everything about them. Well, what you can find out about them, you know, and you can find out where they lived, what the father did, if they've got brothers and sisters. And at that time it appeared that she had been an only child, and by the next census the family had disappeared. I couldn't find them anywhere. So it's quite sad really, when you look at the little children's graves. So yeah, I mean, many a time, like Sean and I, we look at things, we discuss them together, and she's amazed, like the time periods, and we like to look up what's happening in those time periods, what life would have been like locally in those time periods, what jobs, occupations people did, and what places of work there were, and things like that. So it's good, like historically. And oh, tree looks a bit mangled there. You have to watch where you're walking. So we've got new stones and old stones, and I'd love to know where Dean's great auntie, would that be? Granddad's sister, where she's buried. Apparently she was 19, I don't know what she died of. We know she's buried in this churchyard somewhere. There's lots of stones up there. We've never found a stone for her, so the parents' family didn't have a lot of money anyway. They were just, well, I think by that point the dad was dead and the mother was bringing the children up on their own. So he died young as we'd know it today. So, yeah. Nice. Some people don't like walking through graveyards, they think it's spooky, but I get all my best thoughts when I'm in a graveyard because I feel peaceful and untouched by the world really. It's nice, and I can think better and clearer, make better decisions when I've had a wander through a graveyard. Now that's Dean's grandparents' grave. The flowers are dead, but there are some artificial ones on, so that's something perhaps we need to come again and sort out, get some on. Put some flowers on there. Normally we've got plenty of flowers and we've got some left over, but today we haven't. The flowers are dying quick. I think it's the heat at the minute. But yeah, there's quite a few graves. I've just seen some crickets jumping through the grass and I'm thinking, keep away from my feet. Here we've got Spurriers, Marston Spurrier. They were like the lords of the land and the big house and all of this area. So that's their graves. Actually, I'm surprised I've not got big fancy graves in the church or something. But we've got a whole run of Spurriers here. This is quite a fancy one. Died December 1973. That one was 1988, and his wife in 2002. I heard that their big house was up for sale now, but how true it is, I don't know. Some really old graves there. I like to walk through, but in this shoes I've got on, these shoes I should say I've got on, you've got to be very careful, and the ground is so up and down. This is an old one. But we've got old ones with new ones, so I'm not sure whether like people who've died have gone in with other ancestors. I do know of a grave that's got 3 in close to me, and then of course they perhaps put a new stone on if it needed it, or if it's not had a stone before, then they've put one on new, so that's why you perhaps got new ones next to really old ones. But I'm very brave here. I know when we were at school, they used to take us up to the local graveyard, churchyard, and we used to do rubbings. I can't remember why. I remember rubbing some patterns on gravestones and some brass rubbings we used to do up there inside the church. Can't remember why. What years? Oh, these are 1945, so these aren't all that old really. For saying how sort of shabby they look. They're not as old as what they look, but maybe because we're surrounded by all these trees, you know, you get all the debris and everything from them, and just makes things look more weather worn, doesn't it? But we've got graves right on the end there and right under the trees there. I'm not going there because it's all nettles and things, but right down there, and goodness knows how many are right over the edge, you know, from years and years ago. I don't know. I mean, that one there, that's just getting covered over. Long forgotten. Such a shame, because at the time people must have cared because they put a stone on, but families come, families go, people move away, some families come to an end, and that's how the graves end up. Such a shame. There's something buzzing around me as well. Yeah, well, the 50s these are, 40s and 50s. So not all that old. That's an unusual looking grave. It's a bit like a wall and a bed, it reminds me of. Strange. So yeah, we've sort of got the 40s over this end, but I think what I'm going to do is have a wander around the front end where all those slate ones are, because I think that's where we'll find the oldest ones. So we're going to have a look over there. Right. First of all, this is the grave that I was talking about, who I looked up, the little girl, Agnes Victoria. She was the beloved child of William and Hannah Walker. She died on 6th of February 1887, aged just 5 years old, which is quite sad. She was obviously cherished, and the family put the money in to get a nice stone, because things like that would have been expensive then. So every time I walked past her, my eyes caught her, and so I thought I'd look her up and found a family, but unfortunately I couldn't follow where they'd gone to. Might try again at some point, because thing with ancestry, more and more details come on, so I might be able to find them. So I'm just going to have a wander actually on the other side. I'm just going to wander just here. Now, nice churchyard is where my grandparents and great grandparents buried. There's a lot of old ones there, but very difficult to walk through. I think I would have to put Wellingtons on, even if it's a hot summer's day, because of what you could get bitten by. And we went there a few weeks ago to put some flowers on, and it was so overgrown. The weeds were taller than me in the old part, and all we had with us was a pair of slippers. Sorry, scissors. I might as well have had slippers. Pair of scissors, so we was hacking and stamping it down and cutting at it with scissors till I got to the grave and managed to put flowers on. Oh look, there's baby there, 6 months, 1862. Sarah Jane, daughter of William and Mary Smith, who died on 27th February 1862, aged 6 months. So sad really. You know, they just die the things that nowadays they would be saved, you know, they wouldn't have to die from. And it's so sad. Some nice old graves. But look at these fancy ones there. We've got somebody special, somebody of Derby. Thomas Hackett of Derby, died 16th of July 1865 in the 72nd year of his age. I wondered actually if he was somebody, be like a rector, vicar or something, you know, being it was such a posh looking grave. It's different looking, you know. And we've got one over there. That looks more like a little plot, like a little family plot. It's hard to see, I can't really see that. It's that sort of writing that looks like it's on in lead and peels off. I can see the man's name, Henry something, aged 35 years. Yeah. I better not wander too far actually. Oh, we've got one here, look, 1766. And that's quite clear. William Armishaw of Hoon, who died July 27th, 1766, aged 40. And then his wife Frances, who died May the 10th, 1790, aged 63, I think it says, 63 years. In the 1700s. Wow, and a nice big stone that is. It's nearly as big as me. Such a shame they've all got no flowers. Many graves, 1877. So we've got a bit of a mix as of the 18s and 1700s here. Anyway, that's enough grave hunting. Something a bit different today, wasn't it? I think I'll walk along the path this time. I bet tomorrow I'm going to be full of bites. Thing is, you don't always know you've been bitten until you start itching and you swell up. Some 1700 ones over there, Sean, I saw. Yeah, but this area's all here that's all going to have bodies in them, so like 1700s.
Only 18.
So, yeah, so I think we'll leave it at that today. I wasn't expecting to do a grave tour, but it's just so nice. I thought I'd take you along and have a chat and walk and talk with you. Just so pleasant. So anyway, on that note, I shall love and leave you. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.